What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name is Canva. Welcome back to my tribe, you guys. So I wanted to come and share a little something with you guys that you may not be thinking about, especially for like new surgical techs or just probably regular surgical techs in general. But I wanted to talk about the stress levels of being a surgical tech and how it does affect you. And so that's what this video is gonna be about. Hopefully it won't be too long, but I wanted to kind of explain to you guys how important it is for you to make sure that you are taking care of your mental health, because when you're working in the OR, the stress level is always high. So the problem with our stress levels staying at such a high rate or being so high at all times is that we pretty much put ourselves in this like dependent state, I guess. It sounds crazy, but what I'm trying to say is it's like we almost get used to being under a certain level of pressure, and when you're not in that state of being, you know, under stress or under pressure, then you find a way to apply pressure to yourself because you've almost gotten addicted to being in that, you know, fight or flight type of mode, because the OR is a very like intense place to be. And because it's so intense, when you've been doing this for years and you're doing it all day long, like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for years, you build up a tolerance level to stress. And once you fall below that stress level, what tends to happen is you go out and find more stress in other ways. So a lot of people don't think about this, but we can get addicted to being under pressure. You can get it's still a drug. It's a chemical release in you when you are under pressure. And so we have this fight or flight. We all know about it. And so either you gon' if you're in danger or you're under a certain amount of pressure, your body automatically wants to either run, fight, or hide, right? Because you under stress and you know you think your body is thinking that you're in danger. And so when you're working in the OR, that type of pressure is on you at all times because you never really know what's going to happen. So you're always in this state of under pressure and stressed, right? And if we don't take the time out to actually do things outside of work that's going to help eliminate our stress, then what tends to happen, you guys, and I'm not even lying, like not just being addicted to the stress, but what also happens is if you're under too much pressure for too long, you end up making yourself sick, and you'll end up with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you know, all of these diseases that come from, sorry for the noise, you guys, that come from having so much pressure on you at all times. And so I wanted to just bring that awareness to you guys and make sure that you know that, especially for surgical techs, that you need to take the time out for yourself, because you'll end up making yourself sick, or you'll end up, you know, being in this like dependent state of stress. Like you'll just be around here trying to find ways to apply pressure to yourself because you're so used to being under pressure. I can speak for this myself, or speak on this myself, because I remember when I was working as a cosmetologist, I wanted to go back to the OR because of the amount of pressure that it applied on me. Like it just felt like I was not working hard enough as a cosmetologist because I didn't have the same amount of pressures on me. And I went back to the OR because I was like, well, this is the amount of pressure that I'm used to, not realizing that over a long period of time, if I allowed this type of pressure to keep, you know, building and for years, like, you know, however long most people stay in a career, then I might end up with high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or my hair falling out because I'm under stress. You know, like our body actually does start to break down when we are under pressure, when we have too much pressure applied to us. We start to look old, we start to age, you know, we just physically start to, you know, it starts to take a toll on us. So I need you guys to just take the time out and to start doing either a hobby like gardening that's gonna allow you to relieve some stress. Just find something that can help you relieve stress, you guys, and do that just as much as you working, because if you don't, you might end up sick. And so we know about what is it, placebo, right? We know how that works. And then there's another one called, I think, something SIBO, nocebo, something like the lack of, or when it's not there. And so we know what the placebo effect, like they give you a pill and you feel better, but we can do that ourselves. We can make ourselves feel better. So just like we can make ourselves feel better, we can make ourselves sick. So you have to be mindful of that. And if you're under too much stress for too long, you'll make yourself sick. So if you don't know about the placebo effect, just to give you a rundown, it's like when they give people sugar pills and then they feel better, but the person really didn't get no medicine. They just think they feel better because they gave them a pill, but really the person made themselves feel better. So we can actually do that ourselves without somebody tricking us and giving us a sugar pill. You can work on your mental state yourself and make sure that you're doing things like maybe yoga or meditating, or just trying to keep your vibrations high by keeping out certain stresses and distractions and things like that. Try to control, you know, the distractions and the stresses that you have outside of work. Because if you're working in the OR, it's not really going to be a way that you're going to be able to get around being stressed out, because that comes with being in the OR and just the amount of responsibility that comes along with what you're doing. So you will be under pressure and you will be stressed out. But to avoid having certain diseases and illnesses that come from the way that, you know, you're having so much pressure on you, then just make sure that you're doing healthy things, like making sure that you eating healthy, you get enough rest at night, you know, your extracurricular activities are increasing your vibrations, you staying in a loving energy, you guys, because it does, what we think and what type of situation we're in definitely affects our body and our mind and our just well-being overall. I can speak to this for myself, you guys, from self-experience. I didn't realize how much pressure I was under until I started working. And so and it felt weird, just like some days getting up, you know, and just doing something simple as recording a video as my job, you know, like as my new career or whatever. And so it took me a while to actually get to this point where I'm at now. And I promise to you guys, I had no idea that me walking away from my job was gonna bring me the type of peace that it did. But it not only did it bring me peace, it brought me to like a healthier way. Like my face is not breaking out as much, you know, like I just have a better quality of life because the stress level and the amount of pressure that is being applied on me has been minimized. And so I keep my stress levels down, because I know that if I get too stressed out, then I start getting physically sick, you guys. Like my face might break out, I might start getting headaches, like it just starts showing up in just different ways. And so I encourage you guys to make sure that you doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you remain healthy outside of being in a surgical tech. And sometimes if you have to walk away from a career to get that peace of mind, then you can do that. As a surgical tech, you can walk away from the career and come back if you need to. So don't feel like, oh, I'm a less worthy surgical tech if I take a year or two off, you know, and then come back. No, if you need to get your mind right, or if you know, stressed out and stuff like that, then take a couple years off, go do something that's gonna, you know, bring your spirits back up, and then revisit it, and you might be in a better place to handle some of the stress that come along with it. But I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know a lot of people, they come into this career and I don't think they're really prepared for how much stress is going to be on them and how to really manage it, because at the end of the day, your health is way more important than any job. So don't sacrifice your well-being just to be a surgical tech. And I know a lot of people probably don't like sit back and think about how their mind really does affect their health, but the way that you think, and if the way that you think will affect you, and if you're always thinking like, oh, I'm late, oh, I'm this, or I'm not good enough, or this, or oh, that's not uplifting yourself, and it will take a toll on you overall, and you'll end up with more sicknesses and illnesses, and you're not even relating it to your job or the fact that you're thinking negative, but you're thinking negative or whatever, because you're under so much pressure that you're more in survival mode than in creative mode. And I know you guys don't really probably know what that is, but being in survival mode is like that fight or flight that I was talking about, and you're always going to be in fight or flight mode in the OR, because it's a high stress, a high intense career to be in. Not to scare you, I'm just keeping it 100, right? But in creative mode, it's a little bit slower, you guys. For me to create certain things, I tend to work how to explain it, like I tend to work a lot slower. I tend to let things stew a little bit longer. Maybe I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock. Maybe I can get, or 5 o'clock to be to work at 6 o'clock. Maybe I actually get up at 7 or 8 and start my day a little bit later because I'm creating. Maybe I'm writing a book, maybe I'm writing a blog, you know, something like that that allows me to be in my creative flow. But if I am stressed out, then I can't be creative. You don't get both. You can't be creative and stressed. So if you're trying to create, you're gonna have to eliminate some of the stress. And if you're stressed out, you might as well not create. And when I say not create, I'm talking about if you're stressed out, you don't need to be in nobody's relationship. You really don't need to be. You need to be to yourself until you get out of survival mode, because you're not really able to do anything but survive. All you thinking about is either fighting, running, or hiding. Like that's what mode you be in. And so I want you to be mindful of that when you're in this OR, in this career field as a surgical tech, to take the time out to do things. You're gonna have to make it a mission of yours to do things that are going to de-stress you on your off time, because you're gonna be stressed out. You're stressed out. You got to get to work. You might lose something. Something might fall. You know, it's always something that's going on in the operating room that could create problems. Sorry if you can hear the noise, you guys. But I wanted to share that with you because I know that it's probably not nobody out there really that's gonna like help you understand that you really do need to be doing some type of meditation, some type of yoga, some type of self-work, some type of either fishing, something that's gonna slow your mind down and take some of the pressure off you. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.